Democracy is not just under attack in America. In some states, it's being lost. Supreme Court Justice Louis Brandeis once suggested that states could serve as laboratories of democracy. But these states are more like laboratories of autocracy. Take Wisconsin. The GOP has so successfully rigged state elections through gerrymandering that even when Democrats get more votes, Republicans win more seats. In 2018, Republicans won just 45% of the vote statewide, but were awarded 64% of the seats.
What?
Wisconsin is one of several states where an anti-democracy movement has taken hold. But it wasn't always this way. In fact, Wisconsin pioneered the progressive era of American politics at the start of the 20th century, with policies that empowered workers, protected the environment, and took on corporate monopolies. Wisconsin lawmakers established the nation's first unemployment insurance, workers' compensation, and strict child labor laws. Teddy Roosevelt called the state a laboratory for wise legislation aiming to secure the social and political betterment of the people as a whole. But for the last decade, Wisconsin has become a laboratory for legislation that does the exact opposite. After Republicans took control in 2010, one of the first bills they passed gutted workers' rights by dismantling public sector unions, which then decimated labor's ability to support pro-worker candidates. This move aligned with the interests of their corporate donors, who benefited from weaker unions and lower wages. This new Wisconsin formula has been replicated elsewhere. Republicans in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and North Carolina won a minority of votes in 2018, but still won majorities in their state assemblies, thanks to gerrymandering. In Texas, Ohio, and Georgia, Republicans have crafted gerrymanders that are strong enough to create supermajorities capable of overturning a governor's veto.
I mean, are you paying attention? Are you listening to those numbers? Are you comprehending that states have been so gerrymandered, so completely divided, in order to maintain the power of the minority, that 45% of the vote will get you 65% of the seats? And everybody is going to sit here and go, how is this happening to us? How is this happening to us? This is happening to us because this is the desire and the hope and the wish and the dream of corporate America, to dilute the power of the people, okay? And to get us to fight over the scraps that are called our civil rights, to put us back centuries in that arena of civil rights and things that we took for granted, to make us claw our way back, to get autonomy over our own person, our own papers, privacy, right? Oh, and by the way, let's abort Kavanaugh. Let's just abort him. Mr. There is no privacy right in the Constitution. Mr. There's no enumerated right to abortion in the Constitution that he can see, thinks he has a right to privacy and also a right to fine dining. Now, I don't think fine dining is enumerated in the Constitution either, and so I don't think he has a right to fine dining. But what am I talking about? Okay, so Kavanaugh decided, Mr. I like beer. I do too, but beer is not enumerated as a right in the Constitution. I say, let's change that. He would agree with me, and there we could start a conversation. But honestly, Brett Kavanaugh, who was, responsible for rolling back the clock from 2022 to 18 and 68, decided he has a right to privacy when he fine dines. So he went to Morton's Steakhouse in downtown DC, which I have to say, I'm not endorsing the ownership because I didn't even bother to look it up, but the steak there is magical, okay? It's really the mushrooms that get me. I love them.
Oh, yeah, I went just recently. The mushrooms, absolutely. But the sauces, right? Those steak sauces, all the different sauces that you get with it, amazing.
No, and so he went to Morton's, to fine dine, thinking he had a right to privacy. See, and protesters gathered outside on the public sidewalk at the restaurant, okay, when they learned that he was there. Well, Mr. I like beer, Mr. Tough Guy, Mr. I have the right to fine dining and privacy, got so scared of the protesters that he had to be taken out the back door of the restaurant, saying that he was being unduly harassed unduly harassed by unruly protesters while he was eating his dinner at Morton's. So let's just look at that sentence and see if any of those rights are enumerated in our Constitution. Do you have a right to eat at Morton's? Is it an enumerated right? No. He can't find the right to privacy in the Constitution, so he doesn't have that right either then. If he can't find it for women and our bodies, then he can't find a right to privacy when he goes to Morton's either. Okay? And there is no right to beer in the Constitution either. There is a right to protest, though, in the Constitution. There is a right for you to protest your government for a redress of grievances. So the one thing that is in the Constitution is protesting him outside on a public sidewalk. And yet, Morton's is complaining. This is what Morton's wrote. Politics, regardless of your side or views, should not trample the freedom at play of the right to congregate and eat dinner. There is no right to congregate and eat dinner. Food is not even a guaranteed right in the Constitution. Definitely not fine dining. Definitely not Morton's. Definitely there's no mention of mushrooms. There's no mention of cattle. There's no mention of beef. There's no mention of service. There's no mention of anything. So who the hell does he think he is?